Breaking news, Rwanda Minister of Foreign Affairs has made it clear to all African nations that stop sending citizens illegally to South Africa and start putting a blame to South Africans following the recent immigration challenge. This is literally Oliver Jean Patrick. He made this clear to all African nations that leaders should actually take responsibility and create job opportunities within their nations and stop the blames on South Africa. A lot of Africans and even leaders across the continent of Africa have been against what South Africans are literally doing to their fellow black people in South Africa. But remember, South Africans have been very clear to what they demand. We are literally correcting our system, and if you are in South Africa illegally, you should actually pack your belongings and go back to your motherland. And it's turning out the Rwanda foreign minister is actually hand in hand with South Africans. In fact, he made it clear that stop blaming South Africans. Keep watching, we'll keep you updated.
The debate we should be having, it's a debate about, a general debate about migration. We don't believe that we should finger pointing any country. It's important that we talk about the migration issue, the root causes of migration. We should talk about that, and then how to address the migration, which, in our view, should be safe, should be legal, should be orderly. This is what we need to do.
We cannot keep being host to refugees for which later on we are held accountable in some way or even abused about. Refugees as a result of ethnic cleansing based in another country, and we must be the dumping ground of those people who are being deprived of their rights. We have had refugees here for over 20 years. This is not Rwanda's problem. And we are going to ensure that everybody realizes that it is not Rwanda's problem. And starting with saying, those who think it is Rwanda's problem and not Congo's, first of all, remove these Congolese from here. Those who are coming in every day just on the actions of government and institutions, you will tell me government is not functioning properly or this, or that's still none of my business. If it is to be my business, it is yours also, meaning the international community. These are the ones I'm addressing. It is as much your problem as it is mine. But I'm refusing that Rwanda should carry this burden. And
at the same time, because they were using money. But if you don't have money, you come here 6 months, 7 months, almost a year without a paper. But if you have money, you won't spend even 1 month to get your paper.
A daunting testimony of just how easy it is to buy documents at Home Affairs.
You don't pay to the office people or whatever. There are people who stand outside and they collect that money and just making people like they go to give them the paper. Some of them they give fake paper.
If you don't have an agent to pay money, you won't get paper.
When you say you never even go inside, so they don't take fingerprints and all of that?
They won't take your fingerprints because you just sit there in the shed. After that, they said your paper is fine, it's done.
So foreign nationals are openly admitting on camera, if you have money, you get your papers in days. If you don't, 6 months, 7 months, maybe a year. They are literally telling us that they are paying bribes. Let's call it what it is. We are being overrun by these people. Because how does this even work? You cross our porous borders. You walk straight into the country, and then you rock up at Home Affairs demanding asylum papers. That is not how it's supposed to work. You apply from your own country, you get the visa or refugee status before you set foot in South Africa. But no, millions are just waltzing in. Then the syndicates outside the offices collect cash, walk inside, and the officials make the papers appear like magic. No fingerprints, no proper checks, just cash in the e-wallets and your papers are ready. Our own brothers and sisters at Home Affairs, working hand in glove with rogue agents, turning a government office into a marketplace. Complicit, complacent, and criminal. This is happening in Pretoria, Johannesburg, Cape Town. Every single refugee reception office across the country. The rot is nationwide.
I don't think that you can describe people who want their country and their countrymen to be put first as xenophobic. I think every successful country around the world works that way. But I think it is a bit trite that Ashley says the problem is for real, while his party sits in the GNU government that is responsible for dealing with our borders. And I want to address this point directly because he calls it being oppositional. But the Patriotic Alliance campaigned on this agenda, Abahambe. They went into the GNU. They accepted ministerial positions. They had every ability to put terms to the ANC to say, we will not form part of this government unless you reform A, B, and C about our immigration system. They didn't do that. And right now, as we have this GNU government, it continues just as the ANC government has before. Our borders are just as porous. Our government is just as indecisive to determine who should and shouldn't be in our country. And he talks about legislation. Actually, say he's bringing a constitutional amendment that's being heard in Parliament to say that South Africa shouldn't belong to all who live in it, but it should belong to South Africans. His party has brought no such changes to our legislation or our constitution because they've been swallowed in the GNU and the fight for illegal immigration from them with it.
Bandits are eating human beings in Nigeria. There are baby factories in Nigeria. There is terrorism in Nigeria. Libya is enslaving West Africans. Ghana is unaliving LGBT people. Congo is being decimated by the RSF. Ebola is ripping through the continent. Most people on the African continent have never had an HIV test. 99% of Africans do not have access to free healthcare. Governments are stealing billions while your people live in poverty. You do not have functioning roads. You don't have running water. People, do you really care about Africa? Do you care about Africa? Or do you just care about pathologizing South Africa and making one country look like